Hey guys, this is Ashley,
And Cindy,
and this is Life for Dummies.
because we're real dumb.
Yes, we are. What are we talking about today?
Well, I think we should talk about today what would happen if we actually got what we deserved.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Yeah, right?
Not good things.
No. So
Oh man.
I always think it, when someone says, "Oh, this person did that to me. They should get what they deserve." And I'm thinking to myself, "Well, you never got what you deserved, did you?"
Wow, interesting.
Yeah. And lucky for me, I never got what I deserved either. Because if I got what I deserved, I probably would not be here, or I would be in jail or some institution locked away somewhere as a crazy lady. How about you?
Oh yeah, I mean I was a kleptomaniac by the young age of 13. Are we recording? Oops.
Yep.
The store doesn't exist anymore, so I did make a financial amends. No, but for real, and that was young.
Mm-hmm.
Like 13, 12 or something. I don't know. I was like in 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah. So same. For some reason, I would just think that I should take things home with me. Yeah. It just was not good. Let's just say I had lots of items in my apartment that, why do you even have this? I don't know. I woke up and it was in my bed.
You were older then.
Yeah. I mean, I was in my 20s, and I just thought this was normal behavior.
Wow, I actually stopped going into stores for a year when I was a freshman in high school, just so I wasn't tempted to kick the habit.
Wow. So yeah, if we got what we deserved, probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. So thank goodness that we have a loving higher power that gives us grace and mercy, right? And we don't get what we deserve. I just want to be, I had a friend that used to have a sticker on his car that said, "I just want to be the guy that my dog thinks I am," and that's it. I just want to be a kind, caring, loving person and not harm others anymore. And thank goodness I never got what I deserved. I have this loving higher power that saw fit for me to find a new way of life. I've changed my perspective. I changed my life. And now I'm able to make living amends like we've talked about on here on a daily basis. So I don't do those things anymore.
I know a lot of people don't get to.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I remember when I was at the end of my active addiction and things were obviously very bad. And I remember my higher power kind of nudging me and saying, look, you've got one more year, of his protection. Because I had been at that point in active addiction for 19 years. That was almost two decades. And I remember the fig tree, or there's some kind of, I don't know what it is, but it's a story about a fig tree, and the fig tree doesn't have its fruits anymore. We'll give it one more year to see if it'll have its fruits, and if not, then we'll rip it out from the ground and kill it. Right? We'll just pull it out because it's not bearing any fruit anymore. And that was the image, that story was placed in my heart, that last year when I finally surrendered. But it was scary. I probably would have died, if I had just stayed out there for one more year.
Yeah, and that's the reality of the situation and the reality of the life that I used to live, that Ashley used to live. If I keep doing these things, then that's what's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. And so thank goodness I never got what I deserved. And thank goodness that I decided that it would be day one on the day that it was day one, and I stopped doing those things, and that's the message here, is that, we don't we don't get what we deserve most of the time. We're very fortunate people, and we have a chance to change. We have a chance to change our life for the better, change our perspective to change our life, and anything is possible.
So what I'm thinking about is how hard it was for me to surrender. And I don't know about you, but for me, it was like there was one thing that I was just holding on to for so long, and I couldn't let it go. And that last thing is what I needed to surrender, to give a full surrender to my higher power so that I could then be pushed into this new way of life. And that was, I was so worried about what people would think about me. And it had my ego and reputation caught up in it, and I obviously was living in self-denial and dishonesty, because by that point nobody was in my life anymore who cared about me. I was living a lie to my coworkers, and I was literally dying from the disease of addiction, through my drug of choice, alcohol. And so it was totally just like a fallacy in my head, like not true. It was like completely false, but I clung to it with my whole life. Like, I refuse to give in on this last point because I don't want my reputation to be taunted.
Yeah, so when I first came into this new way of life, I was very resistant to what are people going to think, right? And someone said to me, "Listen, we saw you last week walking around town high as a you know what. You weren't afraid to walk around town high like that. Why are you afraid to come in here? Why are you afraid to surrender to this new way of life and stay clean and get clean and live a great life? You weren't afraid for people to see you getting high." And that was like a moment where I was like, holy crap. I was like, everybody knows, and I don't even know these people, and they know, like I am the only one who believed my lies that no one knew. I'm here to tell you, everyone knows, and you can't bleep a bull bleeper, like we know, and that's okay. Like it takes what it takes to get to where you're going, but yeah, that full surrender. So I used to think of like waving a white flag, surrender, like you're losing the fight, right? And I had to retrain my brain to think about surrendering as a way of winning. So surrender to win. If you surrender, you can get everything you've ever wanted for your life. You just have to be willing to say, you know what? Maybe I don't know best. Maybe my way's not the right way. Maybe I need some help.
Right, exactly. Surrender to win was such like this hard concept for me to swallow that first year, because everybody's like, surrender to win, and I'm like, F you, man.
What does that even mean?
Surrendering means you lost,
Right.
But today I recognize, I mean, just practically, when I surrender my own feelings and thoughts, when I get like, worked up because somebody's coming at me either like on the job or in my personal life, and it's their stuff, but they're kind of trying to put it on me, like I surrender in that moment and I don't react, and that non-reaction is a surrender, because I have to like not act out on my like primal instinct, right, to like attack. But instead okay, surrender, accept this feeling, and it's uncomfortable, and the reward is that I keep my peace. So like that's winning, right? And that's just a tiny example of the overarching principle of surrendering to win.
Absolutely. And when we surrender to win, we get grace, we get mercy, And then the cool thing is we started out talking about, did you get what you deserve? So now in this new way of life, I absolutely get what I deserve because I am kind, caring, loving. I try to help the next person. I absolutely get what I deserve. So it's just another example of how when you change your perspective, you can totally change your life. Surrender to win.
Yes, and I love that, how you brought it back to the topic, because every day I wake up in, this wonderful, very comfortable king size bed, and the bed I have facing the water so I can see the water, in the backyard, and the river flowing, and it's this beautiful property, surrounded with like birds and butterflies and really nice trees and flowers that grow pretty much 24/7 throughout the year. And I'm just like, like I'm a princess in princess land every day. It's like, how is this happening right now? And it's because today, like Cindy said, I get what I deserve. And I, every single day, incorporate these spiritual principles into every moment. And therefore, I keep getting the good back. And it just keeps getting better and better.
Totally keeps getting better and better. And I would just like to correct you, though. You're not a princess. You're a queen. Princesses usually need to be rescued. You rescued yourself. You're a queen.
Mic drop.
Thanks, guys. Love you.
Love you.